Good afternoon, collectors and friends. Welcome to Trading Card Therapy, episode number 103. We are about a week away from the National Sports Collectors Convention. In case you're unsure about how to find out about autograph guests or tickets and all that good stuff as far as details go, just simply go to the Nationals website at NSCCshow.com. Our company, Just Collect, will be exhibiting there at booths 401 and 403. And I encourage each and every one of you to come on by and say hi. And we'll see if we can do a little trade or do some business together. At the very least, catch up. And I'm looking forward to seeing each and every one of you very, very soon. So to start off with today, I wanted to give a special shout out to Taylor, who is the newest person on our Just Collect social media team. And Taylor recently posted something on her personal Facebook page, which we certainly appreciate. And I'm not sure if it's a cousin of hers or a distant relative, but someone got in touch with her and said that they had some vintage cards. Specifically, they wanted to find out about the value of this 1921, hopefully I'm saying it correctly, Shapiro Brothers Babe Ruth card. Now, this is the portrait version. And of course, we do know a little bit about it. We're going to share with you some facts about this set today. Anyway, we were able to reach a deal on this card. And believe it or not, this family member of Taylor's does not own these cards. He was simply helping someone at his office figure out what some of these cards were worth, which ones are worth getting graded. And so we have some other vintage cards apparently heading our way. We're able to reach a deal on this card. And for whatever it's worth, this is a really nice one. I mean, I see a little bit of a wrinkle there. And of course, you got some, surface issues on the back, but nothing to me right off the bat that indicates a 1. But anyway, regardless of the actual grade, it does look like a really nice card. So apparently in 1921, the Shapiro Brothers Company produced candy. And on those boxes of candy, there were 6 different Babe Ruth cards you could obtain. And apparently, if you sent in 250 of those Babe Ruth cards, you would get, that's right, a Babe Ruth autograph baseball. And so when you think about the promotion, and then I looked up in the pop report how many of these have been graded, keep in mind there's 6 examples in the set. Well, PSA has only graded 176 examples in the set. So clearly, not that many when you think about you needed 250 to be sent in, and there was several in each box, and only 6 in the set, makes me think that a lot of people sent them in to try to get the Babe Ruth baseball. Or to be fair, they were trying to get it. Maybe they never hit 250. But regardless, we think it's a super cool card, and we're excited to be able to add it to our inventory. And once again, a little thank you to Taylor. We're glad that we're able to reach a deal, and we're excited to see what other vintage goodies are going to be in this particular person's collection. So we'll keep everyone posted. The next thing I wanted to show you real quick on camera is we're doing some, different giveaways and promotions at the National. Our T-shirts we're going to hold out, and we're going to show you, of course, next week. Make sure you stop by our booth 401 and 403. We always have some exclusive T-shirts that we make just for the National, and this year is no exception. We have a few designs this year. I think you're going to love them. But this was really cute. Our team came up with, I find that the National tissues are not easy to find, whether it be you want to blow your nose or wipe your hands, right? And so we got some tissues to give away. And I'm curious, which of these do you like better? So this one, I guess, is more about what we're going to have at our booth, but it simply says our deals will blow you away. And of course, it's a nice little pack of tissues. The next one is you won't cry when we buy. Let me know in the comments which one that you like better. I think they're super cool. Just one of the many giveaways we're going to have at the National. Other thing that I want to touch upon before we get into today's agenda is we were able to just sell and we've been paid, so I can report the sale as being consummated. I thought it was important to mention this because this is a bellwether card. It's a blue chip. Many of you out there, myself included, might be looking for one at the National, and this is a very healthy price for it. So for those that are looking, we can only report this price because this is the card we sold, but we just sold a 1948 Leaf Jackie Robinson rookie PSA 6 for $49,875. So it's a very healthy sale. We're going to let Card Ladder know about that sale so they can record the sale. So if you're looking out for one at the National, this one in particular was a nice 6. That way you have you have a little bit more data to help guide you if you're looking for a Jackie at the National. All right, so today we have 3 different topics that I would like to cover. The first one is super fun. I started playing tennis with a guy named Steve and become pretty good buddies. And Steve is not only someone who played a lot of tennis as a youngster, but is also someone who has dabbled in the card space in the past and was happy that our paths have crossed once he found out what I do for work. And he has been asking me for my assistance and my help. And he's looking to put together a portfolio of 10 sports cards to buy for a 20-year hold. This $50,000 portfolio is designed for long-term appreciation, balancing blue chip GOATs with high upside modern stars and historical icons. And so what I wanted to do was go through Steve, by the way, knows I'm doing this. So I'm going to go through Steve's 10 cards that he chose, and I'm going to give you my feedback on each one. And then, of course, at the end, I would like you, or as we're going, to please share in the comments what you think. Because when I first got this list, it was a lot of fun to digest. And then when Steve and I talked it through, there's no right or wrong, but I asked him if he would mind if I shared it with our community, because I think it would be great to get other people's opinions and feedback about this list. And since it's only 10 cards, let's get started. So first on his list, now I'm going to kind of keep off the prices for now, just because for time's sake, he wants to spend $50,000. He's flexible on the budget, but we're not going to talk about how each card fits into the budget for now, because I'm changing, for example, in some cases, I'm going to get rid of the card. In other cases, I'm saying get a higher grade. All right, without further ado, his first card on the list is he would like to buy a 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan. He put down PSA 8 or strong PSA 7. Now, it is a great, iconic card. But for me, if you're looking for a long-term hold, seeing as how PSA now grades them, I understand you might not get a high-grade example. I would simply try to get a Michael Jordan Star 1984 card, his quote-unquote true rookie. If I could get one centered, even better. But if not, I'd still like to hold a copy of that for the same. And obviously, it's not the same money, but an 8, let's just say, is $7,000, maybe $8,000, depending on how strong it is. I don't exactly know what a lower grade Star Jordan costs. Maybe it's 10 or 15,000. But I explained to Steve that I think that card is very special, and it's also very low in print, and the demand might not be there yet. So you still might have some time to get in there. Of course, the card has appreciated a lot in the last couple of years, but this, as I mentioned, is a 20-year hold for my friend Steve. So let me know in the comments about our first card on his list and my comments about his card. Next up is he has what many people feel is the definitive football GOAT. He has a 2000 Bowman Chrome Tom Brady rookie in a PSA 9. I said I like it. Bowman Chrome is a fairly well-known brand. I said if you can get an SP authentic copy, because it's numbered. I like to see you get one of those, but if not, just make sure the Bowman Chrome Brady that you get is centered, because I've seen some kind of uglyish 9s. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about out there, not just on a Brady, but, sometimes like an 86 Fleer Jordan 9, it's not always 50-50. I know there's been some adjustment standards in recent time, but I explained to him kind of how I felt about that. So that is number 2 on the list. Next up is he's got a LeBron James Topps Chrome rookie in a PSA 9. And simply put, I said, you know what? It's a bellwether card. I like it enough, but I would get a 10. And the reason why is, number one, is that card, if it moves, the 10 is going to move the most. And I don't think it's so out of reach in terms of price. And number two, that 10 used to be a lot more. People aren't breaking 03 Chrome basketball regularly. So I think that the pop report is going to kind of steady out on that particular card. And if you can, once again, swing the difference, I advised him to get a 10 on that LeBron. Next up is he's got a Mike Trout 2011 Topps Update PSA 10. I simply crossed it off. I'm going to, I guess at the end of the list, talk about some of my replacements, but seeing as how we're going through now, I told him instead of a Trout, absolutely want to see you have a nice Ohtani rookie, or to be fair, an Ohtani important card on this list, certainly instead of the Trout. I just think between Trout's injuries for the last several years and the impact of Ohtani leaving, I don't think the Angels are winning any playoffs or World Series anytime soon. And who knows what kind of career numbers Trout's now going to reach, but let me know what you think in the comments. Next up is, and I just played golf with Steve, so I know he's a golf aficionado besides being an excellent tennis player. He's got a Tiger Woods 2001 SP Authentic rookie and a PSA 9. Certainly a PSA 10 is crazy money. And I said yes to this. I love this card. I think it's reasonably enough priced. And, you also want to put together a portfolio of guys that you like. So he said it's not that he doesn't like some of the more modern golfers, but to him, he loves Tiger. We're similar age. And, to him, meaning to Steve, Tiger's a GOAT. And it'd be hard to argue with all those championships. Next up on his list, and I said this might be your worst selection. He had a 2018 Prism Luka Silver rookie and a PSA 9. I waved the finger Mutombo style at him. I said, no, you're not going to go for that. And I love Luka, but I actually just took off Luka from his list. And, if he wants to have another card and not necessarily a basketball card, but he has, I guess this is a spoiler, he had no mantle on his list. I said, Steve, even if it's low grade, like a 2 or a 1 or a 1.5, we got to get you a 51 Bowman mantle rookie. And he asked me, of course, why not the 52 Topps? And I said, Steve, do you want to move the needle to 100 or 150,000, in aggregate? Leighton, the 51 Bowman will probably be fine. Great. So that's my take on getting rid of the Luka and inserting an iconic baseball player, and of course his actual true rookie card, and one that's not the easiest to find without just really terrible print flaws like those black lines across the front, and it's not the easiest card to find centered. That is why I would choose a centered mantle. So the next one, I kind of agree with the player, Patrick Mahomes. He says an optic hollow in a PSA 9 or BGS 9.5, and this is one where I really want the feedback of the community. I think he should get an on-card autograph Mahomes. I think he's young enough. He could potentially have, of course, several more Super Bowls. We'll see if he has more than Brady. Only time will tell. But it's one of those where I was hoping he could get an autographed rookie versus getting a hollow or a numbered one. Whereas the Brady, of course, the on-card autograph is going to set you back just buco dollars. So moving on, we have 3 more cards on his list. He has a 2000 at spot number 8, a 2022 Topps Chrome J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez autograph. And I just simply said no. As far as his list goes, he does not have a Jackie Robinson on here. And so if he can afford the 48 leaf, great. If not, I'd recommend the 49 Bowman. I think that card still has room to grow, certainly instead of the J-Rod. The next card he has was a Topps Wayne Gretzky rookie. And I understand he's still the great one in most of our eyes just because the goal record was set. And I said, get a Gretzky rookie. Just do me a favor, get no Peachy. It's just much, much more difficult to get. And I don't care about so much the grade. Just get one that is centered. And last on the list, many people consider to be the best left-handed pitcher of all time. He has a Sandy Koufax rookie on here in a grade of 2 to 3. Once again, 2 to 3, 4 to 5. If you can hit that 6th grade, Steve, I think that would be nice. But once again, I've seen 6s be off-centered. I've seen 4s be off-centered. I don't care so much about the grade. I care much more so about the eye appeal, particularly the centering on that card. So that's what I would try to get there. So those are Steve's 10 cards. You heard my commentary. I would love to know what each and every one of you think, not necessarily about the whole list, but about, let's just say, if you're a vintage person, is there something that he definitively left off? Like, would you rather see him have a Joe Namath rookie instead of a Tom Brady? You know, you could argue one way or the other. Personally, and even though I'm unfortunately a sick Jets fan, I actually agree with the Brady choice. I would not go with a Namath. But maybe some of you vintage folks out there feel differently. I'm not a modern card guy by any means, but I do collect some modern, and I recognize the importance of players like Tom Brady and LeBron and Ohtani, so on and so forth. So let me know in the comments what you think is the worst choice on the list and who you would replace it with, because we are going to do some follow-up. And of course, I'm going to share this episode with my buddy Steve. So the next topic for today, very excited to be launching some software that I believe is going to help you and me and other collectors and dealers and investors who like to bid in auction houses. And to be clear, auction houses range or run the gamut from REA and Heritage and Mile High and Memory Lane. But then, of course, there's eBay. And eBay has a tremendous amount of auctions and material for sale. So what happened was a number of months ago, I had been coming across this roadblock in terms of it has been very cumbersome and overwhelming at times. And I'm curious, have you felt the same as me to try just to simply keep tabs on all the different auctions? Now, there are some tools out there to help you keep tabs on like which auctions are running, and I think that's great. But I don't need necessarily to know just which auctions are running. I want to know which Shoeless Joe Jackson cards are now up for auction. And currently, I have to look through like 32 different websites in order to discover that, and I'm sure I'm missing some, even though I have 32 on my list. So we are very excited. My partner, Mark Mandel, and I are excited to be announcing that we're going to be launching Auctionwire.ai software. We're going to be doing a soft launch of the National. Come on by the Just Collect booth at booth 401 and 403 for a soft launch and a sign up. You'll have a chance to win some really great stuff and get a t-shirt. You're going to learn all about our journey that we're looking to share with you. Because we know that if you're not happy as a collector, as a dealer, as an investor, this software is not going to be what we want. And so we're super excited to be soft launching there and telling you all about it. But in a nutshell, it is going to aggregate all of the auction data for live auctions and provide you with the ability to get notifications via text, not just email. And you can also sign up for, let's just say, Shoeless Joe Jackson, your guy, or you want to get T206 Portraits notifications, anything and everything in between. We are looking to help you, the community, as far as deciphering all this incredible amount of data and great cards that are, and memorabilia, to be fair, that are being sold at auction. We are going to make your lives much easier. So the sign up will be free. In the beginning, the service will be free. At some point, we are going to charge a nominal fee on a monthly basis. And then, of course, if you buy an annual package, as far as the software goes, it will be a little bit of a cheaper price. But let's talk about all that at the National. I'm looking forward to telling each and every one of you about it just in a couple weeks. If you are at the National, I highly encourage you to come by and meet myself and Mark and some of our other teammates that will be there to give you a rundown on just the power of this software, because it's not just tracking what items are out there. We're going to use AI to help you decide if a card, for example, is a fair deal. Is the next bid something that should make you feel uncomfortable? But we're going to talk about all that good stuff in the coming weeks, and certainly with the soft launch upcoming, believe it or not, just next week at the National in Chicago. So the last thing that I wanted to cover is I'm sure many of you have heard about it, especially if you are on YouTube consuming sports card content. But it is about this big autograph scandal. I have no other way to describe it. And when I say scandal, apparently what was going on for a number of years is an outfit in the Midwest was not just faking the autographs, but they were taking apparently different holograms and labels from the authentication companies that run the gamut, from, let's say, like JSA all the way down to maybe like TriStar. And of course, it's highly disturbing. There might be a number of you listening to this right now that are affected, meaning your wallet's affected by this, your collection's affected by this, you're vehemently upset about this, and I could certainly understand that. And so I just wanted to touch upon it in a minute. Actually, I've had several newspapers locally reach out. I think the New York Post just put out an article where we were quoted talking about it. So first and foremost, I don't know what's true. And I'm not sure that many folks out there know what's true either. Other than that, there's a problem. But we've heard some initial figures like $350 million, or there was 10,000 fake Kobe's or Brady's in the marketplace. And I think similar to what a couple other folks have alluded to, we got to take a step back for a minute, and we have to try to think about if there was truly 10 or even more thousand fake Kobe's in the market, it might really alter the market substantially. So I'm not so sure about the actual individual amount of Kobe's or Brady's, but no doubt there's a big issue. And as far as autographs go, I myself, I buy and sell them on occasion, but I generally deal with them more so out of my love for collecting, historical importance, and on occasion investment purposes. And this has certainly caused me to think. And I want to share with you a couple of those thoughts. So first, nothing is perfect in life. And I'm sorry if you have fake or bad autographs in your collection. I'm sure that feels miserable, and you're not sure if you're going to have any ability to get any of that money back whatsoever. I'm sorry. It's really hard. And so my next point, and I myself am considering this as well. My son is 10 and he doesn't collect too much as far as sports go, but he's interested in some celebrities and such, but he's definitely remarked to me he would prefer likely a photograph of him and the celebrity versus an autograph. And so I'm not, by the way, telling you to collect photographs of you and these athletes, but what I am getting to is maybe it's time to take a step back from autograph collecting and say, I will only feel comfortable if I'm able to acquire them in person, or I've been dealing with the same person for 37 years and they get them in person at different signings. But that's it. And I'm not saying that's what I'm going to do, but certainly the thought has crossed my mind. And I'm curious for those out there that are watching, that are affected by this, or even just not affected by it, but collect cards or collect something, have thought about buying autographs for your collection, and now are taken back. You're nervous, rightfully so, and you're not sure what to do. For me, sometimes less is more, and this just might be one of those cases where For example, I might have wanted or wished to have 100 autographed items in my collection. And now I'm just going to have 10, or I'm going to have 8 of them. And they're only going to be the ones that I and my son meet in person. Because let's be candid, right? I'm not buying these autographs because I'm hoping to become a millionaire from them. I'm buying them because I enjoy it, maybe partially for some investment reasons, but really, I'm not planning to sell these, maybe even in my lifetime. And so all I want to do really is protect, being candid here, my next of kin. So I hope that my son doesn't want to sell, but if he does, I'd want him to not be stuck with Fugazi autographs. And the only way that I definitively know to tell you, the trading card therapy community and the hobby as a whole, to be careful and to be 100% sure that you will not have an issue as far as fake autograph is to see the athlete or celebrity sign it in front of you. And I realize for most of us that might not be possible, that might not be cost effective. Maybe the person that you want to buy, like Babe Ruth, is dead. And in that case, because I thought about this too, I might be willing to buy something that came from a player or, for example, a baseball executive and it's been in their collection for decades. I might make an exception there. But make no mistake, I've already been, I've had tough, stringent thresholds as far as what autographs I would allow in my collection. Well, they just got tougher. And so if you ever want to talk about kind of the road to, autograph collecting and what this now means for you, let me know, because I'd like to talk about it. I certainly don't have all the answers, but I've given it some thought. And I know a lot of folks out there are making content about this autograph scandal. And I just wanted to put in my 2 cents as far as how I felt, as well as how you can protect yourself moving forward. And of course, for those who are affected, I truly am sorry from the bottom of my heart, because it's got to feel rotten. And the last things I wanted to close with is, as I was mentioning, my friend Steve has asked me for some assistance, but Steve is not the first person to ask me for my card expertise and assistance in, at the very least, just putting together a portfolio and potentially even obtaining some of these cards. So if you are interested in getting help and assistance in putting together a portfolio, or you just want to ask me about a couple vintage cards at auction because you truly would like to get my opinion, I would be happy to chat with you. Best way to reach me is via email, Leighton, Leighton, at justcollect.com, or send me a DM on Instagram, or you can give us a shout here in our office at Just Collect. We are also having an open house this week. Hopefully I'll see each and every one of you who are in the tri-state area come by to our office and store here in Summit, New Jersey. And for those that can't, I'm super excited to see as many of you as possible next week at the National in Chicago.